that'll make a big difference. And we shouldn't be so sure that so many Black women are going to necessarily support her just because she's a Black woman. And also, I don't think we should do that anyway. I think if anything, we should have learned from 8 years of Obama that having a Black face in a high place ain't exactly the best thing for us. That a Black face of empire ain't exactly a good solution. I mean, shouldn't you be Black and give a fuck about Black people? Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. And care about Black people? Shouldn't we care about if they can prove that or not? And when you go to school, does not tell me enough about you. I'm sorry. I'm here for the pride of Howard and all of that. Good for all of that. I didn't go to Howard, so whatever. I'm here for it. I think we should be prideful of our schools, but whatever school you went to don't necessarily determine where your real loyalties lie when the chips are down.
Fresh killer.
Oh, what up, Tribe? We are here to talk about the 2024 presidential elections, more specifically the shakeup that has happened with the Democratic Party, with Joe Biden being out and Vice President Kamala Harris being in. My goodness, it happened on Sunday, July 24th. And I don't quite know what to make of it. So I got my tribe here, beautiful Black people from DC and the Bay and Brooklyn and South Carolina, all representing on this call, man. So with that being stated, let's get into it. And my first question is, when the announcement was made on Sunday, July 24th, about Biden stepping down, Kamala stepping in, and he endorsed Kamala Harris, Biden did. How did you feel? That's how I want to start this thing off. What was your first reaction? What was your emotional state when you got that text, when you saw that YouTube video, when you got that alert? Just how did you feel? Let's start there. I see hearts from Eric. I don't know what to make of that, Eric. What are you loving?
I was excited.
Okay.
I was in dread mode when Biden was going through a lot of shit. And I voted for him, so I was like rooting for him. But more and more that came out, I got more and more worried about his health, about his debate promotion performance. And in the back of my mind, I was like, he does have a really good running mate that can step in, but I wasn't understanding about the process of that, how that would happen. But when I got that text, I got that alert that he stepped down and Kamala stepping in. First, it was like it was joy. And then it was concern because she has the long road ahead of her to getting other people in her camp.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, for sure. More first reactions as we welcome Mr. Jason DeWitt, Hampton University alum, proud Hampton University alum on the call. And P Script. I'm not sure what you want to go by, P Script, so I'm just going to call you P Script. But welcome to the call. The question on the table is, when you found out that President Biden was stepping down, he was not going to go up for re-election, and Kamala stepped into his stead. How did you feel? Yes, I see Kalina with her physical hand up. What's up?
All right, so I'm about to switch to the other side of the. I was upset. Okay, so here's the thing. I have been trying to pretend that we don't have presidents because I'm sorry. It's too much. It's Groundhog's Day. It's like, did we do this already? Why are we doing this again? And so I didn't actually.
What did we do? Wait, time out. Hold on real quick. What did we do? What do you mean? Did we do this already? What did we do?
Groundhog's Day. Didn't we already have an election with the same candidates 4 years ago?
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
Is that not what happened?
I'm with you.
Real life Groundhog's Day.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I was really trying to pretend that we didn't need a president and presidents don't exist and etc. Whatever. Let the cards fall where they may. I'm out of this now. I don't care anymore. But So I wasn't actually watching on Sunday. I found out at work on Monday when someone mentioned it. And I was like, oh, that explains a few posts that I saw about Kamala. And I was like, what's going on with that? So anyway, I'm not happy about it personally
Talk about
because
it.
I think that Kamala is a horrible candidate,
Yikes.
respectfully. I think Kamala has proven herself to be a black striver who does not care about black people. And when the cards are down, will run us over to get to wherever her next place is. And so I'm not happy, but I'm also thinking I don't know that she has a shot in hell of running and winning, because if white women didn't want to vote for another white woman, last election against Trump, I don't know how much these white women are going to vote for Kamala and choose a black woman for president before they're ready to choose a white woman for president. Now, I know Hillary Clinton sucks, so we can also say that, but like, perhaps she doesn't have a shot in hell anyway, because I don't know the white women are willing to vote for a black woman president before they're willing to vote for a white woman president against Trump. And they've already proven they're not willing to do that. So those are my thoughts.
All right, thank you for those thoughts. And Kalina is from Brooklyn, just in case you didn't know before, you know now. So there you go. Anyone else on your initial reaction to the news? What up? Anyone else want to chime in on this one? As we welcome Nisi, real quick, as we welcome Nisi to the call. Hey, Nisi, glad you are here. And I'm sorry, I cut somebody off. What's up? Somebody was about to say something. Was that Rick?
That was me, Rick.
Okay, Rich.
Because in politics they soft pedal everything. It wasn't necessarily a surprise that the switch was going to happen. They've been talking about it, I guess, for about 10 days prior. People floating ideas. They even floated the idea of going over the VP, picking two totally new candidates. So it's just like all this stuff swirling around. But when he finally said what he said, I was happy. I'm a fan of the ticket. So I'm really curious to see who she or the party picks as a running mate, if she is indeed the nominee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I guess puzzled that I've been hearing a lot of people saying, well, the country's not ready for a black woman president. When has America ever been ready for a black anything of significance? It's just not about necessarily being ready. It's about taking the opportunity and making the most of it. We heard for a year that America wasn't ready for a black president, for a black man president, and he served 2 terms. So I don't necessarily want to get bogged down in that ideology, but I'm excited to see where this goes. So.
Okay. Excitement. Okay, for sure.
Well, I had mixed feelings. I was sad because I voted for Biden, and I saw the debate, and I thought it wasn't really the best. But then I was shocked when there's all this talk about how horribly he did, because I know he has he has a stuttering problem. And I know that there is so much pressure on that particular debate. And so then after that, the fallouts, I just thought it was just really sad the way that he was being piled on in public. And I was just wanting that discussion. I thought that discussion should be like behind the scenes and not in public. And then so when he dropped out, I kind of cried a little bit, but then afterwards, immediately after, I felt energized and hopeful because I saw that the campaign it's going in a new direction, and it seemed more like lively, like more hopeful.
Okay. But just to be clear, you thought that the Democrats and the news pundits that stepped up and said that he was he did horribly, you thought that that was tacky. You didn't like that move. You thought that they should have kept that under wraps.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. For sure. And you don't think that he did that badly? Is that what I'm hearing in the debate?
I thought it was not really good. He didn't call him on like his lies and all. And then neither did the moderators. They just let him spin lie after lie. And even the obvious one about Stormy Daniels. I picked on the fact that Trump, that was the only one he denied. He did deny E.G. King, E.G. Yet he would deny it like in public and defame her.
Okay. So that transitions into my next question, and that is, do you think it was the right decision, A, for Biden to drop out, and B, for him to endorse Kamala Harris? As I understand, it could have been some kind of open runoff at the Democratic National Convention, but he endorsed Kamala. So do you think that that was the right decision? What do you guys think? What up, Uchi? Did I say it right? Uchi?
No, it's Uche, but thanks for giving it a whirl.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
Okay, Uche.
It's great. Yeah, I hear you. Mixed emotions. It's been the most eventful 3 weeks in politics I think we've seen in a long time. But while there's lots of reasons for and against having an open convention and everybody duking it out versus having more of a coronation, even though I know Kamala sought to earn the nomination. But ultimately, I think it's useful to have us as a nation talk about the issues at stake versus the horse race. And that was my concern about having it just be a free-for-all at the convention, because the news media loves the story. And I think we want to get to the issues versus just the horse race. What horse is ahead? What are we doing today? And who's up here and who's there? I think they would just have been consumed with that, and we would not be focused on the actual substance of the race. So
Okay.
that was my thought. So as much as I don't want a coronation, I would just want to get past all of that and move to the issue, because we have, what, 100 days left, I think?
What about 94 now? 94,
Yeah,
Oh,
let's-
something
okay,
like
there you are.
that.
All right, 94, there you go. So let's
Something.
get after it. Let's get to gutting.
Let's get after it. Okay, all right, for sure. Erica, you about to say something? What up, Erica?
Yeah, so I personally felt like Biden should have dropped out a few months ago. I think the debate just highlighted the issues that have been ongoing for the past couple of months. I can't say I'm one of those people that don't vote Republican or Democrat. I vote for what actually they're speaking and what they're saying. So I can't say I lean one way or another. I personally feel like that right now neither one are focused on any issues that are prevalent to me. I wish that they would focus on the tax laws that Trump passed a few years ago, and I'm upset and disappointed that nothing was done these past 4 years to change those, because they lean more towards the higher earners, and the fact that they are able to shield their income via tax deductions is ridiculous to me, whereas the middle class and lower class end up paying more taxes. One. Two, Trump is just focused on the border. So he is very smart in his way of how he becomes divisive, and he ignites ignorant people just to vote based on their racism and their racist views. But I also feel like a lot of times both Biden and Kamala, they tend to do things that almost placate Black Americans, and they want us just to vote based on that aspect. And I'm not there yet either. So I'm kind of still focused on what exactly are they going to say. I know I'm not a Trump fan, that's without a doubt, but I'm waiting for Kamala to say something of substance that will make me see that she actually is trying to make a difference for our country.
If you don't vote Democrat, you ain't Black.
And I just, yes, I don't, I completely.
Biden's words, not mine. But what are you saying? Yes, Kalina, he said that. Yes, he said that. Don't give me that face, Kalina. Yes, he said on the Breakfast Club. Cut it out. Anyway, I'm sorry, Erica, did I cut you off? Were you about to say something else?
No, I was just agreeing with that, where I just feel like that a lot of times we should not just focus on the fact of automatically assume Democrats are all for Black Americans and Republicans are all for white Americans. And in reality, it is not a president that is going to make a difference in our lives. It's who controls the Senate.
Lord have mercy. Okay. All right. So Gathoni had her hand up, and then Serena. Gathoni, you still have something to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think it was the best code of conduct to endorse Kamala Harris because he picked her as his vice president. So that means that he trusts her to stand in as president instead of himself. I don't think it would make sense if he endorsed somebody else. Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense for sure. Serena, what up? What you got going on?
I mean, I think that it makes sense the way. So at first when it happened, I was just like, why would they do this so close to the election? Like, we don't have time for this. And so, but then somebody made a good point where they were like, well, it's actually kind of good because it creates like a distraction from like the shooting. I'm sorry, I still have feelings about that. Don't necessarily feel like that was not planned, but whatever, another subject. Like, you're right, girl. And so I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time? Because I feel like I'm still having the first question in my head. One more time.
It was, do you think that it was the right decision, A, for Biden to drop out, and B, for him to endorse Kamala Harris?
I absolutely think it was the right decision for him to drop out. I feel like a lot of us were just like, wait, I'm so sorry. I just feel like a lot of us were like, he looked old, and a lot of us were just like, Trump, as much as Trump doesn't look, as much as they're both old, like Trump doesn't, I guess what's the word? He doesn't come off like as old and as like, not, I don't want to say incoherent, but like a consciousness as Biden does, even though they're like, I honestly, when it comes to presidents, like, I feel like at this point, it's all about the 1%. Like, if you're not in the 1%, none of these things really matter in the most part to me anyway. I feel like a lot of times, like, you know, how Democrats, like, oh, we need to placate to this. I'm just like, well, unless you're making a certain type of money, it really doesn't matter anyway. But anyway, I feel like it was the right thing to do. I feel like she can go toe to toe with him. I don't think we have time for them to just be coming out with different Democrats and thinking like, oh, this one would be better. We don't have time for that. So I think it's a rush delivery. So that's what it is. Like, it's I think it's good. Hopefully she has a chance. I'm trying to shut down my negative views about you know, a Black woman not having a chance at this point, because I don't want to feed into that rhetoric as well. But yeah, I do think it was the right thing to do, and I think it was the right. I don't think we have time for him to endorse anybody else, and it wouldn't make sense. So that's
okay. Okay, for sure. I see Kalina has her hand up. I wanted to throw something else in there, and that is, I remember as early as 2022, Biden was saying that he was just a bridge. Like, he used the word bridge. He said, I'm just a bridge, right? As if to say, this is just something to kind of get the country on the right track. And then the next person, star from the Democratic Party, is going to be next. Most people took away from that he was just going to be a one-term guy. He was just doing this to sit in for whoever else was coming down the line. So if he was saying that then, I'm wondering what happened within the party to whereas this decision had to be made 95 days before the election. It seemed like they should have been rebuilding the whole time, and it should have been a smooth transition. So another thing I want to put out there to you all is, what does this say about the Democratic Party, the state of the Democratic Party right now? Is this a power move, or does this show some kind of weakness? And Kalina, I'm not sure exactly what you want to respond to. I'll put a lot of things out there, but just choose one and speak on it.
Okay, so I also wanted to say one thing, because sorry, how do you pronounce it? Serena, yes. Yeah. Serena, you made me think of something really that I like was in my brain. So I have to say, I kind of would have preferred if Biden would have stayed in. And I only would say this for this reason. because Biden living in literal Groundhog's Day 4 years later, I think really inspired a lot of conversation about the fact that we need a third party that's really a third party in this country. I feel like that opened up a lot of conversations about how this two-party, one-party system is trash, and we need to really start thinking about a third-party system that really does have a third-party system. And I think that was a more innovative, more audacious conversation than I've heard in a long time. And I actually understood the argument, and I honestly was like, you know what? And also, sidebar, I think he could have chose someone else other than Kamala. I think he could have chose Cory Booker. I think he could have chose any of the other primary candidates that we already know, that already exist, that are already in the ethers of candidates and people that we could have been talking about that we already know. Maybe it's not a good idea to introduce a whole new person that we've never seen before, but there are plenty of people that have run for president in the past 8 years that he could have brought up. I think he brought up Kamala because the Democratic Party don't give a damn. And they're not trying to be innovative. They're not trying to do good things in particular. They trying to win against the Republicans and also not do anything at the same time. And it's not surprising to me that he would call himself a bridge, because a bridge is an inanimate object, and that's how he been playing. So that makes sense to me.
Oh wait. All right. For sure. What else? What else you got? What else you got?
I'll take a stab. I don't necessarily know if it's right or wrong decision. I support the decision. I just wish he or they, the party, would have decided, hey, perhaps we should go in another direction a little sooner. Because of course, they knew Biden was in the condition he was in, certainly before the debate. I mean, you're having conversations with him every day. You're in meetings with him. So I'm sure that just didn't come up in that debate. So that's a decision, I mean, that probably should have been made sooner if they were going to make that decision. I'm glad that they acted when they acted. It's like, okay, let's go ahead and let's pivot. If we need to do this, we'll do it now. The structure's already there. It's not as if he just picked Kamala out of the blue. I mean, she's a sitting vice president. I mean, that is essentially her role, is to step in should the president be incapacitated. I mean, so the fact that they were talking all around her when she's sitting there, it's like, wait a minute, we have a vice president. Why are we panicking? So,
Rich, just to push back a little bit, she had an approval rating that was worse than his.
And that's okay, because again, we don't select our president, at least I hope we don't select our president based on approval ratings. And they don't continue to be presidents or vice presidents based on approval ratings. Sure, that makes good TV on CNBC, I suppose. But when was the last time you participated in a polling? I most certainly
they don't be calling me, man. They don't be calling me. I don't know why.
Right. So I don't give that a whole lot of attention. So we don't pick them for their ability to do well in polls, but to make bold and big decisions in critical moments.
Okay.
In terms of the how I feel about the party, I guess it's because we know, or I suspect we all know, that most of the decisions within the party are made by a very small circle, and that's driven by big dollars, which is unfortunate, but it happens. It's politics. We get in and we get involved where we can, and I think we should do that. I'm waiting for former President Obama to be a bit more vocal. You know, he chimed up, you know, seemingly supporting President Biden, and then he pivoted. So it's just like, I'm not really sure what direction he's going to go. I'm waiting for someone to say, oh, why don't we just nominate former President Obama to be the vice president, or some weird thinking.
Well, there was talk about his wife possibly running.
No.
I don't know if people heard that chatter. I'm just saying, people saying Michelle. I don't know, man.
She's already shut that door. I said we should leave that one alone.
Okay, all right, we should leave it alone. I'd appreciate that. I'm going to get to Elizabeth in just 1 second, but first, I want to get to these comments My goodness, because something is broken out in the comment section. Well, Serena says Democratic Party, they look unorganized and we need Marie Kondo. And oh my God, I ask, who is Marie Kondo? How dare I ask who Marie Kondo is, because apparently she's very popular. Everyone knows who she is but me. She is, Elizabeth says she is a Japanese style guru that believes in minimalism, only having what brings you joy in your life and cutting everything else out. And somehow we went down a Marie Kondo rabbit hole in the chat. So there's that. Keep the comments coming. I also want to welcome Tawana, Dr. Tawana Houston, to the chat. Thank you so much for signing on. And then we have Sienna also on the call. Thank you so much as well. Hey, what's going on? We have oh, hold on, Elizabeth, and then P Script. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay, I think he made the right decision to step down, and I think Obama has tried to stay neutral because he knows that he triggers Trump, and then it'll be just a nightmare. But yeah, I think he made the best decision for the country. And I was actually on that call. They had the 44,000 women on it, and everyone seems really excited, enthusiastic about having Kamala. So there's a different tone now.
Okay, for sure. What up, P Script? What say you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, we can. Yes.
All right. Man, thanks for having the chit chat on this, man.
It's all
Appreciate it.
good. Thanks for signing on.
Yeah. I mean, as far as was it the right move? I mean, he was behind 2 weeks ago, right? Now they tied together, and by next week, Kamala's gonna pull ahead. So how is it not the right move? It seems like it's mathematically, it was they pulled it together brilliantly. And if somebody ages in the middle of a job that has a certain term to it, 4-year term, and you don't know when you're in your 80s, or you have a grandparent, you get to that point where you either gotta force the keys away, hide the car keys from them, or they hand it over. They get to a point where they still have enough common sense to say, look, take these keys away and you can start driving me. That's a safer way to drive this car. And I give them respect for doing that. And at the same time, Biden, I mean, we got to be a little bit humble and not, I think, too short-sighted in understanding the historic times that we were lucky enough to live in versus somebody 100 years ago. I mean, if we told somebody 100 years ago in our lifetime, we had the first Black man as president and the first Black woman as president, they would have never believed us in a million years, 100 years ago or 200 years ago. So I'm just happy to be living in this moment, man. And Biden was under President Obama, and now he's about to hand it over to the first Black woman president. So I mean, he's kind of like that vanilla ice cream in the middle of that ice cream sandwich. So I think look, man, I think politics is messy. It don't always come together in a smooth way. And when somebody ages in office and they start to lose their edge, against such a hateful force, because as far as I'm concerned, I think, voting for the devil that asked the first Black president to prove his citizenship is just impossible, I think, for the majority of Americans. So, I think they just need a competent, intelligent person running against him, and we'll see the numbers get back on track, and hopefully keep things together, and get the strongest candidate in there, and push this whole MAGA thing out of office, and maybe try to get some sanity back in this other party, because otherwise it's going to be that kind of fight is going to happen every single term, because they've kind of gone off the rails on the other side.
Okay.
So
wow,
that's about all I got for now.
I got you. Boundless optimism coming from P Script, man. Appreciate you. And Dr. Houston, how about you? What do you think?
Well, to echo a little bit of Peace Rip, it's a very exciting time, incredibly exciting time to live in. I mean, it's like we're definitely on the cusp of something. We're on the cusp of change. That Project 2025 is a scary document. I mean, if it ever gets implemented. And so it's like whoever comes into office outside of, that whole agenda, is, hopefully, they're, going to be working for the betterment of a democracy. And I'm excited about Kamala Harris. I'm a little bit biased because I am a Howard Bison. And so I was late to this call because I just got off of the Howard Bison call where we raised close to $100,000 like under an hour, and everything because I mean the excitement is real, and of course we're gonna put our support behind her. And I mean, she is the best, most qualified person on the ticket. I mean, she's not officially on the ticket yet, but we know that that's coming and everything. But it's like she's the most qualified candidate to be leading this. And Joe Biden, I mean, he's led, with integrity and all of the things contrary to his opponent. It's like everything that man stands for and the people that are supporting him, it's like it's pushing the country in a different direction of putting people back in their place of making America great again. And so it's like to support, to stand in support, but also just stand in support of someone that's going to lead the country forward. I mean, I do want to understand better her policies and the things, on her political agenda and things of that nature. I mean, of course, all of those are important, but it's like the biggest thing for me is I don't want to live under the regimen of a Project 2025 that they're ready to implement day one of him being in the White House.
Okay. I would like people to put all your biases aside for this next question, if that's possible, which it isn't, but just make believe that it is. Okay. So the question is, what kind of chance do you think that Kamala Harris has of beating Donald Trump? I want you to be honest. I want you to be realistic. And I want you to speak to her chances of beating Trump in 2024. What do you all think? Is it going to happen or is it not? What's up, Donna?
I think she has a chance. I think she has a stronger chance.
What kind of chance? What kind of chance, Donna?
A good chance, because outside of what's at stake for democracy, and I want to go back to the comment about the likelihood of let's just say non-Black women voting for Kamala. Something has materially changed in the last 4 years, and that was the abortion, the reversal of that, of Roe v. Wade, and how the states responded and how that fight has been playing out. And now the ramifications are real. And I don't have numbers to back it up, but this is just me kind of remembering the stories that I've been hearing. It has mobilized some women and allies, men, in companies and in other lawmakers. And I think it's a real unifying and tangible point that is outside of race and class. And so just that in and of itself could be a hopeful rallying to get more votes that way. But I do think she has a stronger chance. And yeah, I'll stop there because I'm rambling.
Okay. Strong chance. I'm wondering how much of any of this is based on who she chooses for vice president. But we got one for strong chance. Donna says strong chance. Let me get to Tawana and then P Script. What do you say, Tawana?
I agree with Donna. I think she has a strong chance as well. I mean, it's definitely going to take some strategic efforts in terms of, like you just said, Roger, about who she selects for her vice president. Which I feel like she'll have a stronger chance with a white male. Just, you know, the
you mean like a DEI hire? No, I'm just
and particularly a white male from some of the swing states, or the ones with just a larger amount of electoral votes. Like I think they were talking about like the governor of Pennsylvania would probably be a great candidate to just help in that regards. And you know, just the strategic planning with getting all of the young people registered, because the young people seem to be a lot more excited about her than they are about Donald Trump, and just getting all of the people of color.
Okay, for sure. Appreciate that. I am going to get to P Script, but first, Uche says in the chat she has a better chance this week than last week for sure. What's up, P Script?
Yeah, no, she definitely has a chance, because I mean, again, just going back to the math and
what kind of chance though? What kind of chance?
A great chance, because first of all, Biden beat Trump not because, you know, Biden was necessarily a superstar. It was because people, you know, realized that Trump was insane, and he hasn't gained any more of a base than what he had back then. He hasn't won. He hasn't gained any more numbers, and in fact,
I don't know. Listen, okay, hold on now. Because hold on, I've been hearing in the streets and on TV. I've been hearing. Hold on, P Script. Hold on, just give me just 1 second. I've been hearing a lot of melanated people say that they are going to vote for Trump. People that would not have said the same thing 4 years ago. They're saying it now. So
No,
that leads me to believe that maybe his base has grown some.
Yeah, but the numbers, all the polls and everything show at this point that Kamala has recaptured and exceeded all those numbers and all those demographics. So I'm not worried about that at all. I mean, and as far as in the streets, yeah, I mean, you can find self-hating people everywhere that are gonna
come on, man. Stop it.
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean, look, if you want to vote for the representative, for the president of the Proud Boys and the president of the Neo-Confederacy and the Klan, I'm sure you can find crazy people that'll vote for him. But
we got P Script saying every black person. Hold on, this is your quote. P Script says every black person that votes for Trump hates themselves. As you standing on that?
But I don't even just put it. I just put it on anybody of any background to vote for someone. You know, I mean, his words and his actions speak for themselves. But I'm just saying, you can find. I'm sure you can fill in the blank and find some well-known artist that praises Hitler. You know, so yeah, you can find crazy people that get out there and say anything, and they could be well known, and they could have a following, and they could have influence and all that kind of stuff. And then you got other people, then you got all their little followers repeating the exact same nonsense. So we in that kind of, you know, media ecosphere now. So I'm trying to cut through all that. I'm just saying, I'm telling you, mathematically, Biden beat Trump, not even so much of how great Biden was, but really because people were wanting an alternative to Trump. And Biden would have easily beat him a second term if Biden hadn't have gone, you know, senile. So just having a living, breathing, energetic person in that role is going to recapture all of that energy and all of that base back. Mathematically, it's going to happen. So, and meanwhile, like I said, Trump hasn't won over any other. In fact, he lost more, I think, because of the fact that, you know, leading a whole attack on the Capitol and all that kind of stuff. I think he lost some of that original vote that he might have had when he first got elected over Hillary. So I don't think he's gained a whole lot. I really don't. And I think he's going to lose whatever he might have had just because people didn't think Biden was going to be strong enough. Because now that card is out the window. Okay. So yeah, I think it can be done, man.
Okay, I hear that. Serena says in the chat, because people think they made more money under Trump. That's what Sexy Red said. I'm just saying. Sexy Sexy Red said we had money under Donald Trump. I'm just saying Sexy Red is influential. And we have Elizabeth. We have Elizabeth with her hand up. What's up, Elizabeth? What kind of chance? Once again, the question on the table is what kind of chance do you think that Kamala Harris has of defeating Donald Trump? I want to welcome Candida to the chat. All right, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay, I think Kamala is going to win because she's qualified. She has the background of a prosecutor, so she can in a way prosecute Trump because he's done all these things, these criminal things. And I think that actually in a way, all of this controversy over Biden and him picking some and him dropping out in a way is a good thing because Trump picked Vance because he thought he had it in the bag because thought he was running against Biden. And now everything's changed with Kamala Harris. I also think that the Black people that say they're going to vote for Trump are doing that because they've never read Project 2025, because I've read it and I've read it several times. Each time I read it, I see something new that's very troublesome. And the thing is, it's not a plan for Trump. It's a plan to actually transform America. It's a plan for America.
Okay. So does everyone on the call think that Kamala is going to win? Is there anyone that thinks otherwise? Okay. Just one person. Everybody else is okay. Kalina, what do you have to say on the topic?
Okay, so to be clear, I don't think she can't win. Whether I want her to win or do want her to win, that's a whole other conversation. I don't know. But what I do know is that 2016 taught me a lot about how people lie in your face and tell the truth at the polls. So I wouldn't be counting too many checks about this idea that Kamala can just beat Trump. And I wouldn't be believing too many people who say they're not going to vote for him or who talk crap about him. Because people go with the tides of who they think will win, and people go with the tides of the people that speak to them directly. And I watched in shock when Trump won. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. And I am not that big of a believer on a lot of things. But if I was shocked and everybody else was shocked, we don't know what these people will do. We don't know how they feel, and they won't tell us the truth. That's what I've learned.
Okay.
And so I wouldn't go too crazy about the idea that Trump has lost supporters. I have seen no evidence that has convinced me that he's lost supporters. I've seen no evidence that's convinced me that people aren't excited about what he can and cannot do based on no evidence, obviously, but they don't need it, apparently. They watch him destroy a whole bunch of stuff during a global pandemic, and he did not win. He did not lose by that much. People don't acknowledge that. And if it had not been Black people voting in crazy numbers as we did, we could have been 8 years deep with 45. That was a very close election that we had. They was counting votes like some people count money that they don't have. Okay? They were serious about their counting of the votes. Why? Because they weren't sure. It was too close to call for like a week. Everybody forgot that, not me. So all this to say, I'm 50-50.
Okay.
It depends on how much approval she can have outside of Black women. That'll make a big difference. And we shouldn't be so sure that so many Black women are going to necessarily support her just because she's a Black woman. And also, I don't think we should do that anyway. I think if anything, we should have learned from 8 years of Obama that having a Black face in a high place ain't exactly the best thing for us. That a Black face of empire ain't exactly a good solution to the white man marathon that we've been going on with all these white men being in power. I mean, shouldn't you be Black and give a fuck about Black people? Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. And care about Black people? Shouldn't we care about if they can prove that or not? And when you go to school, does not tell me enough about you. I'm sorry. I'm here for the pride of Howard and all of that. Good for all of that. I didn't go to Howard, so whatever. I'm here for it. I think we should be prideful of our schools. But whatever school you went to, don't necessarily determine where your real loyalties lie when the chips are down. And everybody should earn our vote.
Okay.
Everyone, and especially Black people, in some respect, because we can't get caught up in that craziness of, well, I want representation. I understand, I got fooled too, but we should mature to a point where we don't feel that way. Because honestly, I take anybody who talking right and willing to do it and got a plan in action. I don't give a damn what color they are. I done learned that. And I think we should all learn that.
Okay.
And I think we should become politically mature enough to understand that. And I'm getting off the soapbox.
I hear you, Kalina. To your point, some people, I heard Elizabeth bring up the fact that Kamala was once a prosecutor, and some people are saying that may very well work against her in terms of securing the Black vote. I'm in the Bay Area. Kamala rose to prominence here in the Bay Area, and a lot of people don't have positive things to say about her tenure as head prosecutor in the state. So we'll see. Also, she ran in 2020. People didn't vote for her, and she didn't win one state. She didn't win California, her home state. And so I say that to just to speak to the point that Kalina was making, but also like it may be people might be expressing all this joy like they're supposed to now, but in her past, people haven't come out for her. So we shall see. I have one more thing to put out there, and then I'll let everybody go. Shout out to all my people on the East Coast staying up late. My God, it's late out there. Appreciate y'all being on a call. And I want to pivot just a little bit, because this cognitive ability that people say that has eroded in President Biden, that's not something that happens overnight. That's something that takes a long time. And the elections are coming up. And if President Biden, is saying that people are saying he's not fit to run again, and he's saying, okay, to a certain extent, I will yield. And to me, that says that he's not fit to run right now, and he's president right now. And so I'm wondering, how much power does the president have, period, in this country? I I'm open to being wrong on all of this. You guys can push back like crazy. It's all good. But it seems like someone else or other entities are running the country if we are to believe that his cognitive ability is very low. So I'm wondering, could you possibly put anyone in that space and that person doesn't run it, other people run it? How much power does the actual president of the United States have in running the country? I'm wondering what you all think about that. What up, Tawana? Dr. Houston there, yes.
Well, I am one of those people that believe that if Joe Biden really wanted to leave a strong legacy, he would step out right now and let Kamala be the president for the duration. And then, of course, she'd be on the ticket for November. It's like if he really wanted to go out strong with this impactful legacy that that the country would always remember, he would bow down now. I mean, everybody's giving him his kudos for deciding not to run and for his long commitment to public service over the past 50 years, and all of that's great. But it's like, if he were
go back to Delaware now.
It's like that would really just turn this country upside down and put it in a better moving forward position. I think it would give her an opportunity to be in the position and people seeing how that's going and just more strongly position her for November. That's my opinion. So yeah.
Don't wait. Just go on now. Okay, Dr. Houston, thank you. Once again, the question on the table is, how much power does the president of the United States have right now? Is he just a figurehead? What's going on? What do you say, P Script?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's right on. That point you're making is right on. And I think it ties into two things. Well, one, I heard what's been said about, the president ain't doing enough for Black folks and all that. And I hear it. And it's totally, I'm with that. But really, the laws are made in Congress. I mean, people have been said that before. And so, the president's up there what gets to his desk, so we got to make changes at the local elections. We got to make changes and take over the Congress to really get laws passed, right? The president doesn't have that power. So that's part of your answer, I guess, right there, is what power does the president have then? And yeah, I think as far as Biden, I think it's sort of like, we're all in the car, grandpa's driving, and he's saying, okay, I'm gonna turn the keys over in November, or let's say January, but at least it's kind of like a self-driving Tesla. So we ain't got to worry about him too much to get us at least safe to where we're going until January, and then he's gonna hand the keys over. But yeah, no, I mean, there's I hear what you're saying. It's right, you're right on point, and that's been said, is like, if he's stepping out now, then now everybody's like pointing at, well, should he even be in there right now? And I'm pretty sure there's a whole structure around it, and I haven't felt like he can't at least, be a figurehead in there until the end of the year. But no, your point is right on point with that, for sure.
Okay, for sure. Appreciate it. I'm gonna get to Elizabeth, but first in the chat, Nisi says, the East Coast appreciates you. East Coast, West Coast connect. All right, there you go. She also says grassroots efforts are important. And then Donna says, I think that would encourage and foster too much turmoil. There have been other presidents in the past that have had cognitive impairments. Ronald Reagan, the most recent, and the running of the country was done amongst a small circle. But if we were to pull that change now, it would almost move the choice from people, and it could backfire. My 2 cents, and I'm assuming Donna said that to the idea of Biden stepping down right now. Okay, cool. Thank you for that input, Donna. And Elizabeth, what up?
Oh, okay, me?
Yes, you.
Okay, so I think that would be problematic because look, when Roe was overturned, because they ruled that abortion should be states' rights. And so, but they said that they weren't getting rid of Roe nationally. But what happened was it was a domino effect. And so states started enacting these laws against abortion and triggering all of these ancient laws that had been on the books. And it had other effects because women who were having miscarriages couldn't get treatment and actually being arrested. Women could no longer get IVF treatment. I know someone that had a medical condition. Because of that, she could only have a child through IVF. And her today, she wouldn't have children. She has a child, but that child wouldn't exist. And there are so many other impacts for that. Now, if there is suddenly to be talk about Biden resigning, that would have a domino effect too, because then people would start demanding the 25th be pulled on him. And that would be chaotic, and that could cause seats to be lost in Congress and in the Senate, Democratic seats. And that's important because those seats, the Congress, they make laws that affect us. And that's a guarantee for Trump to win. And again, I think you asked about what kind of power that a president has.
The question on the table right now is how much power does the president of the United States wield right now? Is it just a figurehead, or does that person actually have power? If we are to believe that President Biden has a low cognitive ability, how can he then run the country?
I think he's capable of running the country because, like our parents, they may be slowed physically, but they can also be sharp as a tack, just physically not as strong as they were before. And he does have a cabinet to help him.
Appreciate the input. And so Gathoni says in the chat, the president doesn't have power, and the American government has historical policies and negotiations that won't be reversed. For example, in the case of the war in Palestine, Biden doesn't have power to stop it, and Kamala Harris won't either. The country is run by big corporations, and they decide who they want to put into office to allow them to continue their money-making agenda like oil, fracking, etc. Well, this is the last question on the table. I welcome Lynette, even though we're closing up. Lynette's in the building. Want to give her proper shout out. And putting this out there once again, this is it. But the president having power, how much power does the president of the United States have right now, if any? Anyone else want to speak on that? And the better question is, regardless of the president's cognitive ableness, how much power do we think president has, considering all the money that it takes to even run for president? My. What have we learned today? People are pretty optimistic. People on this call seem to be pretty optimistic about Kamala being the next president of the United States. We shall see. People do not like 2020 Project 2025. There's people that spoke on that. And we had a healthy dialogue from DC to South Carolina to the Bay to Texas and everywhere in between. Hampton and Howard are in the building as well. And Brooklyn, of course, strongly representing well. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for staying on the call. Peace, tribe. And another one.